The participants for the Afcon in Ivory Coast in early 2024 have been determined. 24 teams will be competing for the African football crown. In 4 parts, we take a closer look at all the teams and try to predict their potential for the tournament. I've divided the 24 teams into 4 categories: favorites, challengers, surprises, and outsiders. Today, the first 6 teams, the outsiders. Let's start with Tanzania. Huge country, huge celebration. For the 3rd time, the East African country has qualified. The last time was 2019. Tanzania has never made it past the group stage at the Afcon. They are the only team from East Africa that could qualify. Other countries like Kenya or Uganda failed again in the qualification. Compared to many other countries in the region, the country is currently in a good economic situation, and there are also major investments in football. The domestic league is considered one of the 5 strongest on the entire continent, of course with the 2 big names, Yanga and Simba. Both are way ahead of the other teams in the country, and the players are real stars. The enthusiasm is great. Football is a big topic. Tanzania, finally back at the Afcon. The national team is also largely made up of players from the 2 big teams. They know each other from the clubs and complement each other well, a big advantage over other participants. Defensively, the team is very stable. Recently, Algeria also had to make this experience and failed again and again with their attacks due to the strong defense. The focus is also on the defense, which is the basis of the team's play. Most of the time, 1 goal has to be enough up front, so the backline has to secure a clean sheet. The team plays in a 4-3-3 system, with local players forming the defense at the back, and the individual quality of the players from abroad should help up front. Probably the most important player is Ali Samata, with Premier League experience, currently with PAOK Saloniki in Greece. The striker has proven his scoring ability over many years, but is currently struggling to get into top condition. At the Afcon, however, Tanzania needs his best performance. The most exciting talent in the squad is Bernard Kamungo, who plays for FC Dallas in the MLS. He comes down the left attacking side, has incredible pace and is a good goal scorer. Tanzania should not be underestimated. The big names are missing in the squad, but if the defense is good and they have some luck in the draw, then the first entry into the knockout stage is possible. Next up, the Gambia. This small country is on the upswing. Few inhabitants, but all the more talent. The proof? At the Under-20 World Cup this year, the team made it to the round of 16 and even beat France in the group stage. The current phase, with the 2nd Afcon in a row, could be just the starting point for a golden era in Gambia's football history. The euphoria at home in Gambia is huge. The qualification was celebrated all night on the streets of the capital Banjul. The cohesion within the team is huge. The players are proud of their small country and have conspired to upset the big ones. In addition, the Gambia is not too far away from the Ivory Coast, so the players hardly have to adjust to a different climate than at home. In Tom Saintfield, the team has an experienced coach, who showed in the last edition how well he can adjust the team. He is up to date professionally and knows how to use the strength of the team. One of the most beautiful stories already is that of talent Yankuba Minteh, who is currently enchanting fans at Feyenoord Rotterdam. At the last Afcon qualifier, the now 19-year-old was still playing in the domestic league and was there as a fan at the post-qualification celebrations. There is a video of him rejoicing with the team at the bus. Now he ensured that the great success could be repeated with his goal in the decisive match. He could become one of the rising stars of the tournament. His fast, tricky movements will cause big problems for some defenders. However, the most important player and big name in the offense remains Musa Barrow. His ideas should keep the offense running. I wouldn't be too surprised if he collects a minimum of 3 assists during the tournament. Gambia. Outsiders? Yes. Without a chance? Definitely not. Mozambique. Back in the tournament for the first time since 2010. A country in a tale of joy. Even the president joined in the celebrations after qualifying. It is a rather unknown team that is largely made up of players from the local league. There are hardly any players from abroad. The team's great strength is its athleticism. It can play very physically, sometimes using unconventional movements. In the offense, just as in so many African teams, there are technically skilled, fast players, but they sometimes lose order in the defensive work. The biggest name in the team and arguably the most important player is Bruno Langa, currently playing in Portugal. The left back is considered the best in his league in his position after the departure of Grimaldo. He is a good tackler, has a good technique and is very fast. He is also important for the build-up play. Despite his position as left back, he gets the ball a lot. He's also one of the top 3 left backs in Africa. The joy about the return to Afcon is great. The president organized a kind of carnival in the dressing room after the determined qualification. But the euphoria cannot hide some weaknesses compared to other Afcon participants. The opponent must not be given goals by easy mistakes. The offense lacks the individual quality to decide close games. Coach Chiquinho Condé was able to gain important experience as a youth coach in Portugal and has been able to develop the team ever since he took over. He is a very modern coach who works with the latest methods. Hope is also given by the young Geni Katamo from Sporting Lisbon, but also the hero of the qualification Clésio Balqué. They could develop into players that have that individual quality that has been missing so far. Mozambique, a real surprise package, but for me rather a candidate to fail in the group stage. Namibia, the brave warriors. Coach Colin Benjamin is probably the greatest legend in the country's football history. He played in the Bundesliga for many years, also completed his coaching education in Germany, and his first steps as a coach were as assistant at 1860 Munich. So he has been influenced by German football a lot. He prefers a defensive style of play that doesn't always make the games pretty to watch, but the success proves him right. He is very involved in his home country. Even before he became national coach, he founded his own sports school. His team is characterized by local players and players who play in the South African League. The team's big star, Peter Shalulile, is also active there. The striker has twice been the top scorer in the South African League. The offense is built around him. Without him, it gets pretty tough, as was also shown in the last friendly match against South Africa, which he missed out due to an injury. Other important players are Ryan Nyambe and Dian Hotto. In addition, the experienced Ronald Ketiere could return to give the midfield more stability. The team is used to playing in foreign countries. Even the home games are played in South Africa, because no stadium in Namibia meets the standards. It will be very important to get good results in the World Cup qualifiers in November against Equatorial Guinea and São Tomé and Príncipe to gain confidence and not let any unrest arise. The position of Coach Benjamin would be strengthened because at the moment there's a bit of criticism against him. Not all fans are satisfied with the selection of players and his style of play. This issue should better not get bigger before the Afcon. Everything stands and falls with Peter Shalulile. If the striker is in good shape and leads the offense, surprises are possible. But currently, I think it will be very difficult for Namibia in January. Mauritania. For me, the country has always had something mysterious, mystical, but the love of football there is huge. Less mysterious is the coach Amir Abdou, a real expert in surprises. Most recently, in 2022, he sensationally led his home country, the Comoros, to its first Afcon participation. You remember the outfield player and goal in the third game? He's a real expert on African football and knows exactly how to get maximum success out of a team. In the meantime, he has led the team to a 14-game unbeaten record. In addition, Mauritania is now in the Afcon for the third time in a row. But the country has not yet managed more than the group stage. Perhaps this time? The squad is not particularly deep, and if important players drop out, the quality quickly drops. The players from the domestic league are not all at international level, which is a weakness. In addition, there's the goalkeeper position. Although keeper Babacar Niasse plays in France Ligue 2, he is not a regular starter there, and therefore has hardly any match practice. That leads to mistakes time and again. Most recently in the game against Gabon. The most important and individually strongest player is Aboubakar Kamara of Olympiacos Piraeus, the undisputed star of the team. He is a powerful striker with a good finish. He also works well against the ball and does not get tired. especially in the national jersey. But he is not a regular starter in the club either. Without a lot of match practice, it will be hard for him to get into the best possible shape as well. The team's strength is the collective, a lot of commitment, a lot of passion. So even individually better teams can be beaten again and again. However, the squad hardly has any players who play at the very highest level in their clubs. I have my doubts that this time it will be enough for the knockout stage. And last but not least, Guinea-Bissau. This is the fourth consecutive participation for the country. They are becoming an established player in African football. Many of the players developed in Europe have good technical skills and a high tactical understanding. It is a young team that plays in large parts in Turkey, Portugal and Spain. Corners and free kicks play an important role in their game. The team has to stop the defensive weakness. Again and again goals are conceded in this way. But offensively, it is a means to success. Here the team is quite effective. As a West African country, Guinea-Bissau also has the advantage that the players know the climatic conditions and do not have to readjust. Except for the corners and free kicks, the defense is the big strength. The team conceded only one goal in 2 games against Nigeria, a team with a massive offense. Ed Garrier, another good defender who developed at La Masia with FC Barcelona, could also join the team. He would join the other 2 strong defenders Mama Baldé and Nanu. Offensively, Carlos Mané is the big name. The Kayserispor right winger may not be the biggest Mané on the continent, but he is always creating chances with his creative ideas and setting up things for his fast teammates. Sinjo Gano and Jorginho each collected 3 goals in the qualifiers. And then there's one, perhaps the most exciting forward talent of the tournament, Francolino Diu. He comes from the youth academy of Benfica Lisbon, currently plays for FC Midtjylland in Denmark and scored 5 times in the qualifiers for the European Conference League alone. He has also been convincing in the national team lately. So he will be one to watch out for. A very talented team that is still in the underdog position, but I trust them to become a surprise and get to the knockout stage for the first time. So that was the first of 4 parts of my outlook for next January's Afcon. Subscribe to the channel now to not miss anything and also see my prediction for the other 18 teams. Thank you and see you soon.